3, 2.
Hello, friends. Welcome to episode 1 of User Friendly.
User friendly.
My name is Erfan Elijah. I am a contributing writer for cultomac.com. I'm also the founder of the cool, geek, indie clothing brand MikeTees.com. I'm here with Roberto.
My name's Roberto Hoyos, and I have a company called Throwboy, throwboy.com. We make geeky, tech-themed throw pillows. And, Erfan and I have been friends for a couple years now. We met through our mutual geeky companies.
Mm-hmm.
We both found out that we're based in Seattle.
Yes, and then I invited you over to come do my podcast that I had running at the time, which was called This Week in Might. It was the Mike Tees podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And then I did your podcast with you a few times,
Yeah,
which was
For the
Geek. And then we both ended up doing this other totally unrelated podcast called The Tech Buzz, which was kind of like a weekly tech show that talked about Apple and all things geek on the web with a guy named Steve Haywood.
Right.
And we decided that since we were so much fun when we were together, that we needed to have our own podcast. We've been talking about doing this for a while.
Yeah, so this has been brewing for quite a while.
Yeah, at least a year.
Yeah, we just we need to do something, just record. I don't know.
Yeah, we just need to start doing something. So we, about a half hour ago, put up a poll on the internet on poll.cm to figure out what the name should be. It was between user-friendly and still in beta. Mm-hmm. And user-friendly definitely won.
Yeah, so if anyone wants to use still in beta, they can.
Yeah, just send me the royalties for that. And so what's this podcast going to be about? Well, we really wanted to have a show where we got to talk about what was popular in geek culture and on the web. We love the web. We love talking about the web. And we thought it'd be really fun just to cover the things that we love online and talk about all things geek. Mm-hmm. Anything to add to that?
No, I think you got it.
That pretty much covers it. So we're kind of thinking this is going to be a weekly show, and we'll come back and talk about what's cool on the web every week and just have a good old time.
Mm-hmm. From a male point of view.
From a male perspective, of course. I'm not even sure what that means. If you're watching this, you're probably male anyway. Huh?
From In Living Color, the men on film.
That's right. I do remember. Hated it. We should say that whenever we find something we don't like. So anyway, we've got 3 stories we're going to talk about today.
Yep.
And we'll probably be back next week with about 3 more. Mm-hmm. Hope you join us for each week's episode. This is episode 1.
And here we go.
Should we just jump right into it?
Yeah.
Okay. Today is January 25th, 2012. And yesterday, I believe it was yesterday, Apple announced their quarterly earnings report. They had their quarterly financial call.
Typical stuff.
I mean, if you're a fan of Apple, this would probably be interesting to you anyway. But the reason I think it has so much appeal is because Apple has grown from this company that was almost going out of business, 10 or 15 years ago, to, I mean, as of today, I think they're the most valuable company in the world. And this financial call they just had, I mean, they're making more money than anyone.
They just beat out Exxon.
They just beat out ExxonMobil, mm-hmm. and Exxon was previously the highest earning company in the world.
Right.
And rather than throw a bunch of numbers and figures that just kind of say how much money Apple really made, I found an article on TechCrunch by M.G. Siegler, popular writer there, and he basically gives a lot of context to the amount of money Apple's making from selling iPhones and iPads, and I thought I'd read you a couple of these because they're really interesting.
So to kind of put it into perspective of normal earning type things, like how much money was made.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. So the title of the article is called Apple's Massive Numbers and Some Context. So Apple just had the most profitable quarter ever. Mm-hmm. And by ever, it's not just for them. It's the most profitable quarter any publicly traded company has ever had anywhere ever.
That's insane.
That's how much money they made. So he writes about their numbers and some of the things that were said, just to kind of put it in perspective. Apple's profits place them on an exclusive list of the most profitable companies. Yes, of course. Let me see here. Apple's income surpassed Microsoft's. Actually, that's not even interesting at all. This is the iTunes Store alone generated 50% more revenue than all of Yahoo did last quarter.
Jeez.
That's just the iTunes Store. iTunes, or Apple rather, paid third-party developers via the App Store $700 million last quarter.
Mm-hmm.
That's double Yahoo's overall profits. That's just in what they paid to developers. Apple's profits for last quarter exceed Google's entire revenue for last quarter.
That's crazy.
And Apple's profit for the entire year, their profit, now beats Google's entire revenue for the entire year of 2011. Their stock went up right after the announcement, 10%. It's now hovering around $450 a share. I wish I still owned that. Apple's gross margin. So I think gross margin is how much their markup is on their products, right?
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure that's what that means. Is 44.7%, which is insane considering they're in the electronics sector, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like where most people's profit margins are a lot lower.
Right.
Also interesting, Apple sold half as many Apple TVs last quarter as they did for the entire previous fiscal year. So in one quarter, they sold more Apple TVs than they had the entire year before. Tim Cook, CEO, says he still considers the Apple TV a hobby.
Really?
But that's really interesting. So they sold 1.4 million Apple TVs. Mm-hmm. So at $100 a pop, I'm not even going to try to do that math. That's $1 billion, right? It's over $1 billion, just over. So it's $1.4 billion of a product that, previously had not sold very well at all. Do you know anyone with an Apple TV?
My parents.
Your parents have one?
Yeah, I bought it for them, I think.
Oh, okay. I don't know if I would actually use an Apple TV for streaming media. I mean, I like my Xbox for that.
I really don't know a lot of people that go out and buy that as a media solution. But still, that's like a very surprising number.
My brother did, but this is a while ago, which shocked me. But I think for me, I really want one. But the reason I really want one is because of AirPlay. So you can use your iPhone or your iPad to stream content to your TV, which doesn't immediately sound cool, but with
video, it's sweet.
With video, it's really cool. Yeah. Like, I had my mom come over here probably a month ago, and we were watching a video on my iPhone. The rest of my family was here too, so there's like 10 of us here. And we're all hovered around my iPhone, and I'm trying to show them this video of me petting this pig at this farm, right? Dumb. But it was really...
usual.
Yeah, the usual videos that I have. And every time I pet the pig, he'd fall over so I could pet his belly. And they all thought it was really funny.
But yeah, you can kick that right over to your TV.
So you can kick that right to your TV. Yeah. And I was like, man, you can do that with photos too. So I was like, how cool would it be to be able to do that? And I also used it once when I was on a trip recently to stream content from my iPad videos that I had stored for the trip to the TV. And it worked really well.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing how the video can sync up.
Yeah, and it's like really high quality. It looked great. I mean, I'm sure it was being compressed in some ways so that all the video could travel, over Wi-Fi.
Right.
But it looked really good.
Do you know that you can actually, if you have an iPhone, you can just stream the audio to speakers and actually have the iPhone or iPad with you, but your speakers are doing the audio?
I do that all the time, actually. I have my Airport Express downstairs.
I do it with an Airport Express,
And I know you could do it with the Apple TV, too, which would be awesome. And I think that I was just at CES, and we're starting to see a lot of AirPlay-enabled speaker systems.
Yeah.
And previously, a lot of them were Bluetooth-enabled, which...
Just stupid.
Which is not the best solution because Bluetooth uses a lot of compression. You use a lot of audio fidelity when you do that.
That's just gimmicky CES
I think it
crap.
is. It is, yeah. But a lot of people use Bluetooth because a lot of devices have Bluetooth, so they're going for that broad appeal, right? but they're starting to.
No one uses Wi-Fi.
Yeah, totally. And Wi-Fi.
It just took like to 2012 for people to start putting Wi-Fi.
Yeah, and you're finally starting to see companies adopt this because they realize that AirPlay is going to be big, right? At least I think it is. And it's not just some gimmick that Apple's pushing.
It's very like sort of like the sneaker thing in the Apple products right now. Like it's not really blown up very much. Like you don't hear about it, but it's awesome. Like I use
for those people who use it, yeah, it's really awesome. I mean, the fact that on my iPhone I can hit that little box with the arrow in it, right? And I can. This is what it does that I think is the big deal. So previously, I just wrote an article about this on Cultimac. Previously, you had pretty much all your music on your iPhone, right? Especially if you use Spotify, if you use Rdio, one of those music streaming services. You have your podcasts on there now.
Pandora.
You have Pandora on there now, right? So previously, if you wanted to listen to all that music, you had to put your headphones on, right?
Yeah, or plug in a dock.
Or you had to plug it into a dock.
Yeah.
And I was at a Klipsch Media event, and they're pretty much counting on AirPlay to sell units in the future, and their units are really expensive, like $2,000, $3,000, $5,000, $6,000 systems.
Yeah, Apple carries some of their stuff.
Oh, do they really? Mm-hmm. So, and what one of their product guys was saying is the reason they're moving to AirPlay is because no one wants to dock their phone to listen to music.
Yeah,
and it's true.
Because nobody wants to give up their phone anymore.
Right, because what if you get a call?
Right.
What if a song comes on that you hate? And you gotta run all the way back to your phone to change it. So it's like...
It's so quaint to think like, oh, remember when we used to put iPods in docks and like walk away?
Totally. I don't like docking my phone. I hate docking my phone. I've never liked docking my phone for that reason, right?
I think it's changed the game though because it's no longer the iPod. It's your actual phone that does so many other things. You don't want to leave that somewhere.
Yes, that's true. That's a good point. Yeah, because I mean, there's so many other things you could do with your iPhone rather than just listen to music.
Yeah.
So... Now you're able to, instead of just like listening to this music on your headphones, you come home, you take the headphone jack out, you press a button, and you send the audio to your TV. Or you send the audio to your radio. Or if you're in your bedroom, you send it to your alarm clock. iHome, really popular accessories manufacturer, Apple accessories manufacturer.
Known for their little dock.
Known for their little docks. They're still selling those units. Dude. Gross.
It was longer than it looked.
Yeah. I like how you really accentuated that. You're like, dude, going way up and down. iHome is building AirPlay into a lot of their products, even though they're still including the docks, right? It's kind of like that crossover feature. But it's really cool because now they're selling alarm clocks where you can still have your phone wherever you want it, but when your alarm triggers, it still sends out audio to your new, AirPlay-enabled alarm clock.
That's cool.
Really cool. There's a company called Pure. They're a British company. They're really popular in the UK. And they're bringing a line of their AirPlay speakers over here. And they're all AirPlay-enabled. So I think it's exciting.
I think it's awesome because, because I've been an Airport Express fan for a really long time. I've always thought that was a cool technology to stream audio. And because you can put your own any kind of speakers you want, whatever, right? And I'm more of an audio guy, so I would have like my speakers of choice and whatnot. But everybody seemed to have like a boner over freaking what's that one? Sonos.
Right.
And I'm like, that is not really that exciting. It's just built-in Wi-Fi into a speaker that sounds good. There's a million speaker companies that could do a much better job at that. And so now I'm like, okay, cool. Finally, we're going to start seeing that because we should have seen that a while ago.
Yeah, I feel like Sonos was building an AirPlay type technology into their speakers before Apple was doing it. Is that true?
Well, I mean, what do you really need to make an AirPlay style thing? Like Wi-Fi and some software?
Yeah. and now Apple enables you to, use any AirPlay enabled device, and it works really well. I think the only other thing that companies have been hesitant about is, and some of the people I was talking to were telling me this, is the licensing fees. Like Apple's charging a lot for the licensing fees for this stuff.
And it all comes back around to that money they made.
Dude, yeah, they're going to be making so much money. So they build these devices, and if you wanted to have them be AirPlay compatible, you have to pay Apple.
So Apple's raking
so much money, dude. Yeah. So anyway,
sum it up.
I digress. It's really interesting. So Apple's made more money than ever, and than anyone has ever made in any quarter. And a lot of people are wondering if they're going to be able to top this. I knew this quarter was going to be
Gangbusters.
Gangbusters.
Why?
I knew it because they have a Gangbusters quarter every Christmas.
That's true.
And
it exceeds each time.
And it generally exceeds every time. And plus, they had the new iPhone 4S. They had the better iPad 2s.
Mm-hmm.
They have a lot of devices that I was like, these are really exciting devices, and I could see people buying these for Christmas.
Yeah.
Next year, I'm a little curious.
Whatever. Everyone says that every year.
They do say that every year.
They got everything going for them. All they can do is screw up.
But they're not going to have any new novel devices unless they really release an Apple TV.
Mm-hmm.
And an Apple TV, I mean, it could
you
make
mean like an Apple flat
like
panel.
I'm sorry, yeah, an
Apple
actual
television,
like tangible Apple television,
yeah.
Which if they released, I would definitely be interested in buying. And there's a lot of pent up demand for it already, especially now that the Apple TV units are selling so well.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, 1.4 million units. I mean, they're selling these things at $100 a pop, right? And they consider this a hobby, and it's a hobby that makes them $1 billion a year.
Yeah, totally.
Well, it nets $1 billion in revenue, right?
Right, and that's
if I'm doing that math right.
I mean, to put that into perspective, like that probably beats out Xbox.
Oh well, I'm totally doing the math
right.
No, I think Xbox is a lot bigger actually because it's actually it's 104 million. Not 1.4 billion. For everyone shaking their head at me, I bow my head in shame.
That's
because it's $100 each, and they sold 1.4 million.
Okay.
So it's 104 million, but 104 million dollars in revenue as a hobby project is astounding. Like to consider that they're not even considering it like an actual like legitimate business. It's like oh, this makes a good amount of money, and we'll continue doing it, but we're not sure how big this is going to be in the future. So it's going to be really interesting to see what happens with Apple in this next year, just because now Steve Jobs is gone.
Sure, yeah. We'll be watching.
We will be watching and possibly buying more stock. But speaking of Apple devices, you had an app that you wanted to talk about, right?
Yeah. Actually,
show it to me.
The good thing about this is, for those that want to follow along at home, it's also a website.
Oh, cool.
It's actually started as a website, and it's not like it's breaking news, but it's something that I use pretty often. It's called VU.
Oh, and you actually use it pretty often.
Yeah, I do. VU is, VU.com if you want to go there right now. It's been around for about a year, and basically what it is it's a lot like what FormSpring was, where you can ask people questions, either anonymously or not. You can follow.
They're still
people.
around, right?
Yeah, they are, but they're kind of like not. They're not the cool thing anymore.
Oh, okay.
And
that's why no one's asking any questions.
But VU is with video, so all the responses are with video.
Okay.
So
do you ask questions with video, or do you just have to respond?
No,
with
you respond with video.
Okay.
So like you have your page, and I don't know, I could show you on here, but so like I said, if you guys go to the site, you can see I'm vu.com/Roberto, and
it's just the letter V, and then YOU.
Yes, I think it's like I say VU. I think some people say view, but
VU, that makes sense too. Yeah.
Anyway, so on the app, like say for example, if I had people asking me questions, they would have a number right there, and then to reply, I would just hit record.
Oh, and you can do it with your phone.
And then just record a response.
Oh wow, that's really cool.
So
and you can do it, I'm sure, with your computer too, right?
Yeah, it's the same thing if you have a camera on your computer, and so yeah, you would just do that. So like, let's say, if I click on this one, and it's cool.
Skylar says asking you a question.
No, this is her answering your question. Oops. So like, it's kind of cool. You can let people, or you can just ask people random questions, or like for I know there's actually a lot of celebrities on there. There's like Bob Vila, and people will ask him like questions about home stuff.
Bob Vila's on there? I gotta go.
But I don't know. It's kind of fun to like just kind of hear people's perspective, especially because you can ask one question to multiple users at the same time and see like what people have said.
How do you how do you have a community? Is it like you have to make VU user friends and they follow you? It's like
they have a follow system.
They do have a follow system.
Yeah.
And can you connect it with your Facebook account? I'm sure you can.
Yeah, it has all that. You can actually sign in with your Facebook if you want to.
Oh, okay, cool.
But yeah, it's been around for, I don't know, maybe like 2 years, and
really,
the app is pretty new.
Yeah.
And I think it's kind of fun.
Do they have or do you know if they have an iPad app?
Yeah, they do.
Oh, they do.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's really cool.
So yeah, I don't know. I think that just doing like businessy stuff like with it, I'll tweet out like, hey, I'm answering questions on VU, and then people will ask me stuff like, oh, how is a pillow made or something, and I'll like talk about it. It's a lot easier for me. I don't know. Like, I'm kind of like a more video person rather than just like I want to type out like the steps of how to do this.
Yeah, video is so much easier, and I mean it's so much more interactive too. I mean, writing takes so much effort, right? Because you gotta like think about what you're gonna say, and then you gotta make sure you don't put any freaking any errors in there. Yeah. I got trolled by this dude. So I wrote an article for Cultimac recently, and I think it was an iPhone tip, and it was how to make an app that's frozen shut down. You can force quit it, right? So you don't have to like restart your iPhone. And in there, I put, if you're looking for your power button, then it's on the upper right of your iPhone, or your iPod. That's always where they put the power button, right? I just made that sweeping statement, not thinking that it was going to be a big deal at all. And I did have a small hesitation. I was like, I'm not totally sure this is always where it's been, but I'm like, I think that's probably true. And I'm like, it's the spirit of the statement, right? It's gonna be on the top of your iPhone. It's not gonna be on the side. It's not gonna be on the bottom. So I published the article, and one of the very first comments, in fact, I think it was the first comment, was this dude trolling me, and he literally takes a block of the text that I wrote, quotes it, and he's like, "You said that no matter what iPod you're dealing with, the power button is going to be on the top right." He quotes me. Yeah, and it's like, he's like, "But that's not true." He's like, the first, second, third generation iPods,
I think,
had the power button on the upper left. He's like, "But that's not what you said. You said upper right," like accusing me of trying to mislead people, right? He's like, I'm paraphrasing now, but he's like, "I can't believe you would make such a statement." He's like, "You need to stop writing and do us all a favor."
Oh my god, really?
And I just thought it was hilarious. I was like, this guy's getting so pissed over this tiny detail, totally overlooking the fact that the tip was really helpful. It's like, dude, if you have a frozen app, here's how you get rid of it. Once you find your power button, you're not gonna have a problem anymore. And so I was kind of like, sometimes I just let that stuff go. In fact, I think pretty often, I don't want to cause anyone to troll anymore. I'm just like, yeah, whatever, I just ignore it. But this guy, I was like, I'm not ignoring this.
Feed the troll.
So I wanted to feed him a little bit, and I kind of give a snarky reply, and I said something along the lines of, I was like, "Dude, you got me. Like, you got me. I can't argue with you. Like, I'm a really bad writer, and I apologize to you and our readers. I'm a total scumbag, and I just want you to know that I know that about myself." And that was it.
Dude, I get trolled on when I comment on shows that I actually like shows that I'm like, "Hey guys, this was kind of crappy this week," or something like that. I'll say that in the comments of YouTube or something, or like, "Hey guys, stay on topic," or something to that effect. And then I get people like jumping down my throat, and I'm like, dude, I'm not saying, "Hey, this sucks ass," exclamation. I'm trying to like give them feedback in the event that some of those people actually read them, which I feel like a lot of people don't. But like, I feel like people don't understand what the difference is between trolling and like actually giving a shit about like what you're watching.
And like giving like legitimate feedback. Yeah, I mean, for me, I consider it trolling when you start to make personal attacks on somebody.
Right, yeah, sure.
Like when you start telling someone they should die or they should quit forever. It's dude.
Yeah. Totally. And I actually had one totally legitimate, I thought. This is totally off topic, but like Revision 3's Dignation YouTube channel, right? youtube.com/dignation. I've been subscribed to that for like quite a while, and
They're doing the toasted donut thing now.
okay, so yes, what they're doing now is the cameraman has started his own show.
So he basically didn't want to get rid of the channel because it's valuable.
Yeah.
So he kind of just inserted his own show into this channel.
He put his own content onto the channel
Called Toasted Donut.
Toasted Donut. Fine show, whatever. I'm just like, hey, you're kind of hijacking the channel for people that actually are into Dignation. And I was just like, I typed that out. I was like, here's an idea. Why don't you put stuff on a new channel? Because, obviously the show's over. Right? And
so you kind of think they should just close the channel?
Hell yeah! Like, why not?
Hey,
all you're doing, 100% what you're doing is poaching those.
Totally.
That's all you're doing.
And they're doing it. I subscribe to the podcast on TiVo, and now I'm getting
Toasted Donut.
Toasted Donut.
That's ridiculous. See, it's not the same show, and so I said that, and then people were like, "Dignation is dead. Move on," or like, and then I was like, I know it's dead. That's why they shouldn't, upload here. And so I kept replying back. And then I get another one that's like,
I hope your family dies in a fire.
They're like, if you don't like Hippie Glenn, then that means that you never like Dignation. And I was like, okay, first of all, it doesn't make any sense. Second of all, like I was just like replying back, like totally like, look, I liked the show, but the show is over, and they shouldn't hijack this channel for this purpose. Like what? And I went to those guys' YouTube's like who they subscribe to. I was like, would you like it if the Vlog Brothers just stopped making videos, but someone else took over that channel? Would that be cool?
Yeah, totally.
Like, would you like it with anyone? If Justine's mom started doing this.
Yeah, like Justine calls it quits, and her mom was like, "Well, I like to cook. I'll put a cooking show."
Yeah.
It's like Justine's mom cooks microwave recipes.
Yeah, but everything else still stays the same as the channel.
Yeah. Well, I watched a couple episodes of Toasted Donut. I didn't really see. I think I kind of saw it when they were making the transition. I didn't really watch like a full episode. Like, have you watched a full episode? Like, what is it even about?
It's just like. It's just like really like underproduced. Like, hey guys, what's going on? Like,
that's what it looked like. Yeah. It looked like Glenn was just kind of like talking about. I think actually that's what I saw. He even talked about this. He's like, I don't really know what this show's going to be about, so I'm just going to talk about whatever I want. And I'm just like, whoa.
It seems sort of like a vlog channel.
Yeah, it does kind of seem like a vlog.
With sponsors.
With sponsors still, right? And
I mean, granted, what they're doing is they're banking off his popularity. That's all they're really doing.
Sure. Yeah, it's like when Friends ended and Joey started his own show called Joey. That was eventually
the same level of
it's
good.
Pretty much exactly what happened. He's like, well, let's just give more of the same. But it's like, I think for me, one of the things I usually like about podcasts is also more subtly one of the things I like about bands, and that's the interaction between all the people that are on it, the relationships that happen there,
can't just,
right?
Like take one guy out and be like, let's make a show about him.
Yeah, totally. It's like freaking Axl Rose replacing every member of Guns N' Roses, but still calling it Guns N' Roses. It's like, no, it's not the same anymore.
Right.
And I don't know if Glenn's new show, Toasted Donut, is any good. It might be great, but I think the point is, it's like, well, you really need to start your own thing.
Yeah, promote it in your own way. Don't just like, oh, cool, I got Dignation.
Yeah, it's like, I'm just going to take the Dignation page and start broadcasting
I'm going to take one of the most popular podcasts and just put my own stuff on there.
Yeah.
That's what he's doing.
Yeah, it's true. And Dignation, I mean, it's arguably one of the most iconic podcasts that was out there, right? It's like, it was the show that started this whole big push into making podcasts and video popular on the internet and making them like a viable.
And so did Revision 3.
Yeah, and so did Kevin.
That's why I said that comment. I was like, I think Revision 3, if they actually read these things, they would actually care that somebody is saying, hey, this is not cool. Like your viewers probably aren't into this. Aren't into you taking the channel is what I'm saying. But yeah, I don't know. It just got me like really annoyed, and then you like check back on your YouTube and you're like, oh my god, someone's still commenting back on this. Like, let it go.
I know. I used
so
to.
Video is interactive.
Yeah. Anyway, I mean, it's an interesting topic though, because trolling anytime you're in the media or you're writing stuff, you're putting yourself out there is a big thing. It's something that we're dealing with right now at Cult of Mac.
Cult of Android.
Cult of Android is getting trolled hard. And hey, you know, people have their opinions. People want to be heard. I think that's great.
I feel like a lot of the time, if you actually say something back, like, hey, I just read that, and I, you know, like, then they kind of shut up because, like, oh shoot, I didn't know that guy read them.
Yes,
totally. I didn't think he would reply. Like, I did this talk about how I started Throwboy called Ignite, and you went to this thing, and they uploaded it to their main channel, and it was just like a little 5-minute talk of how I started it in front of an audience, like a speech, and somebody trolled, and they were like, all this guy's saying is his brand name 1,000,000 times and blah, 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 blah. And I just was like, hey, dude. Oh, he's like, I want more valuable information about how to start a business or something like that. And I was like, and I found it because I look for everything, like a lot of people should do if they're building a brand. And what do you call it? I just said back, I was like, hey, I'm, you know, that's me. And totally cool about it. I was just like, hey, if you have any questions, here's my email. I'll tell you as much as I can help you with. You know, Roberto's founder, and like, I never heard back from him because that's the kind of thing they just want to hide behind the anonymity.
Yeah, that's true, and that's one of the reasons why I think Facebook comments is such a great thing. I mean, we're thinking about adopting it at Cult of Mac too, because anonymity is the big problem with trolling. It's like once you get rid of someone's anonymity, all of a sudden they're way more courteous, they're way more polite, and they actually think about what they say instead of just making an emotional argument.
On the flip side of that, since we're talking about commenting on YouTube, I do feel that it's starting to get to be sort of a problem, or maybe it's been one for a while. People being too nice, too cordial, yeah, you're great, yeah, go, you know, way to go. And like a lot of people aren't really that good. Like they suck at singing, but everyone tells them they're awesome, you know?
Yep, that's totally true. Sometimes I wonder if those people are being like honest, or if they're just being nice. You know, like some people are just encouraging people.
Right.
It's like, that's just how they are. Of
course, SNL did a skit about that. They were like, I think it's like 2 weeks ago, and it was basically like people going out there.
I saw that.
Like a talk show.
Yeah.
And they would have like, oh, so and so is known for like their like YouTube video or something like that, and they have like totally disillusioned of how good they are.
Dude, especially if it's a girl.
Oh yeah, dude.
Oh, dude. If you're even remotely attractive as a female, there's no way anyone's ever gonna tell you you're bad on YouTube. Yes. You can be the worst singer in your state, and you'll just have the best self-esteem because all the guys will tell you how beautiful you are. They'll make video responses, playing their guitars, singing you love songs. Dude.
Yes.
Anyway, we totally went off topic.
No, it's cool. That's the show. Well, the show format is just... What
was our third topic going to be?
Third topic was going to be about your love for the new Facebook timeline.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so
let's move on. New, but...
since we were talking about Facebook anyway. Yeah. So, in about a week, the new Facebook timeline is going to go live.
Yes. And like, meaning cemented.
Yes, which means everyone has to start using it.
Right, because it's been around, but not everybody has to adopt it yet.
Yeah, have you started using it yet?
It's on mine, yeah.
You have? Okay, I've turned it on too. If you'd like to turn it on, you can do that. Just Google Facebook timeline.
Or you go to anyone else that has a timeline, and there's a button there.
Oh, there is?
Yeah, it's like learn more or something.
Let's start with the positives. So, big, radical, sweeping UI changes, user interface changes.
Sum it up in a sentence. You can't.
I can sum it up in one word. My opinion on the entire thing: cluttered.
Okay.
I think it's super cluttered, and I think it hides a lot of content. And we were gonna start with the positives.
Yeah. Sorry.
Okay, let me start with the positives. Let me see if
it hasn't killed kids yet.
It hasn't killed any kids, and it smells fine. I think the one thing I do like about it is it puts that top cover image up there, which I think is cool. So it kind of lets you brand your page a little bit with an image.
That's such a small thing that you like.
It is a small thing. Well, to be honest, there aren't a whole lot of things I like about it. Well, what do you like a lot about it? I mean, you've been using it.
I don't know. I don't use it because it's mine. Like, do you go to your front Do you go to
my page?
your page a lot?
Oh, all the time, yeah.
Why?
Because I'm posting photos there, I'm posting comments there.
But why do you need to do it there? Like, why can't you just do it from the main
I don't know.
Facebook.com?
I don't know. I always just go to my own page to do it on my own page. I don't even think I knew. I guess actually, yeah, I did know that because I did it today. I guess I just like to see who's commenting on my page and so on and so forth.
Oh, I feel like that's like MySpace. Like that seems like such an old way to do it.
Dude, MySpace was the best. I think they should bring it back.
They are bringing it back.
That's right. Justin's bringing it back. Justin Timberlake.
He's bringing MySpace back.
He's bringing MySpace back. That's
Yeah.
right, because he was at CES.
Mm-hmm. Well, I don't know. I think, okay, I guess it's cool for people that want to go stalk your stuff, I guess, and go look through the backlog of all your stuff, which is most of the time not interesting at all. It's like being able to like go through tweets. It's like, how fun is that after a while? Like you're gonna go through somebody's Twitter, the whole thing. I don't know. And what else?
Can I say something about that though?
What?
That specific item that you just said. So one of the biggest features is your Facebook history is easily accessible. You can go back to 2007. You can go back to 1991.
1980.
When Facebook didn't even exist.
Yeah.
And one of the big problems with that I've heard that I think is a good point is maybe you don't want people to be able to go back in your timeline like that.
Right.
Like what if you had a really let's say you were married and you got divorced. And the whole thing plays out on Facebook. People can go back and see your relationship before that, before the divorce, before you were even married. It's like,
oh, yeah.
Well, let's say you had a girlfriend and you had a bad breakup. And you get a new girlfriend. Your new girlfriend can go back into your past and look at girls you've dated, girls you've broken up with.
Just girls that you've taken pictures
Girls that you've taken pictures with that may mean nothing.
And then you're going to go to like on a trip and then the girl's gonna be in that same city.
Yeah, it's like I just don't know if I really care to have my past be that accessible to people.
Yeah, it's really kind of cemented the whole like what you put out there is out there for a good thing.
It really does.
I mean, like it's something that we've probably said in the tech space for a long time. At least a lot of people have. And but this sort of thing where it's like, oh, but it's super simple and probably like, one flick away if you're on an iPhone to be able to see, whatever, 2 years ago or 3 years ago, 10 years ago.
Yeah, or 10 years ago.
Yeah.
There are a lot of pros to that, but those are definitely some negatives. Let's talk about design though. So I love that Facebook had a really just like linear design. It's like new stuff at the top, old stuff at the bottom, right? It's like, and pictures were always like right there, like in their native aspect ratio. Now you have a 3-column design. I see duplicate stuff on my page all the time. Like I'll post a picture and it shows up in this column and in this column. I have no idea why.
Yeah, it's like, I think that it goes, I don't understand it because it's like column 1, but then like down here is some more stuff that's just happened too.
Yes, and because there's a 3-column design now.
And then ads.
And then there's ads on the right-hand side. So I feel like there's just a lot of clutter, whereas before it was like linear. New, old,
one chunk, yeah.
Yeah, it's like now there's like stuff over here, there's some crap in the middle, I don't know what that's all about, and then there's stuff over here, and there's ads.
I feel like they're trying to fit a lot of stuff in one.
They're trying to fit a lot of stuff in, which makes it look cluttered to me at least. And my big thing that really, really annoyed me is I'm a photographer. I post a lot of photos on Facebook, and the photos I would post would always show up in their native aspect ratio with my watermark in the corner so people knew that I had taken them. And now Facebook takes the liberty of cropping those photos into a square.
Really?
Yes, every single one.
You mean
that shows up.
Oh, you mean like the
thumbnail.
preview? Oh, okay.
The preview, it gets cropped. So now whatever shows in the image could be something that looks totally stupid. Like it looks ridiculous. Like people don't look at the pictures as much because it's like, let's say I post something where in the photo, like the item that I want you to focus on is over here, which in photography happens all the time. That totally gets cropped out, and now you're just looking at like a road or a tree, close up of a tree.
Yeah.
So it makes the photos look really bad. And they don't let you adjust how the photo is oriented in that thumbnail. They just automatically choose it for you.
Really?
Yeah, so it's like you have no say. Like, I want to show just this part of the photo or just this part of the photo in the preview. It's like, no, we're gonna just say right in the middle is what we're gonna show. I think that's what they do every time.
I think photo-wise, it's sort of a bummer how Facebook has taken over as the dominating place to share photos.
I do
because
too.
it's so sucky, you know.
It really is not a good experience.
Like
it's true.
like Flickr is so much better for doing, you know, and pretty much anything photo-wise as far as like. You know, like protecting your content, putting your copyright on it, showing it in the true like resolution, everything like that. But nobody's on Flickr anymore.
That's the problem. It's like no one's on Flickr. Everyone that I want to see my work is on Facebook.
Yeah, and you don't even want to direct them to Flickr because what are they going to do? Just look at it and you don't even know who saw it or who commented?
Exactly, yeah,
They're
totally.
not going to like it, you know.
And they probably don't have a Flickr account.
Right.
I mean, my clients that I photograph, they may want to share the photos with their family, and it's like
they can just click share.
They can click share, and then also they see my watermark. They can hire me if they want. They can contact me through Facebook. So it's really like a major bummer, and they're talking about applying this new format to the pages too. So my Facebook photography fan page, it's going to get the same. Yeah, our brand pages, and it's like all these things that we've already posted are going to get changed. And I really don't like that. Like, I really want to keep the old Facebook. And I've never had a problem. Facebook has made a lot of changes. Mm-hmm. This is the first time that I've genuinely felt, like, up in arms about this. Especially since they're messing with my businesses now.
Yeah, it sucks, though. It's just kind of like you signed up for it. You're at the mercy of it. You can't really say anything, you know?
What can you do? Yeah. So they're going to go live next week. And everyone's going to be forced to use the new POS UI that they have.
Yep.
I just hope they don't adopt it to pages, but I bet you they're going to.
Probably. I don't know. I feel like anytime anyone gets too comfortable, they yank the rug out.
I'm going to come up with a Facebook competitor called Friend Pages.
Has to be a head.
Dude, how hard can it be
to
compete with head page? How hard can it be to compete with Facebook? I'm sure it's easy to do.
Yeah. You're not too far behind yet. So.
Yeah, that's true. Anyway, I think that's it.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Episode 1, user friendly. I hope you guys found it friendly and user friendly.
We should register an email address so people can email us.
Let's do that.
That will be at the bottom of the screen, right here.
Wow. You're making a big promise. Or it'll be in the comment section down there. Anyway, thanks for watching if you were here, and we will see you next time.
So long.